Time for another episode of Pottawattamie County Roots, presented by Hoy Kilnowski Funeral Home. I am Todd Studer. We welcome a special guest into studio today. This is Joe Huntoon. He is the owner of S&B Kountry Kennel, south of Council Bluffs. Is your address actually Council Bluffs, or is it because you're really close to the county line with Mills County?
Yeah.
And
it's really a cool area location because we're in Council Bluffs, but we're in Mills County.
So you're actually located in Mills County, but your address is Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
That's got to be confusing when if you're getting any kind of delivery in from the mail or something. That how does that go?
It took about 2 years to get. We get most of our mail and deliveries now. For 2 years, we were chasing our packages and food deliveries or Amazon, but now we get most all of those. So.
Well, you have one of the largest dog kennels, I think, around. I don't know. Is there anybody bigger than you? I don't know of them.
Not around here. I always say Southwest Iowa.
Right.
You know, there might be something over in Omaha.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
But this was built and designed because of the need.
Yeah.
And because you knew that the type of service that you were providing, you planned for success. This is what's always impressed me about you as a business owner, is you always plan for success and design it that way, and then still have to pivot. I mean, that's just the way business is. But you came out with, okay, we know that we want to be able to help a lot of animals this way and have the space to be able to do it.
So when we bought the property, my now ex-father-in-law and I had a discussion. He's kind of like my silent partner. I priced the first building. He said, price the next one bigger. I priced the next one bigger. He says, price the next one bigger. So 2 sizes bigger than the original size is what we ended up going with, because he told me, I don't want you to outgrow this thing in 2 years. We are on year 3 right now, and I ended up building 13 kennels back at my house in the original kennel. So that's full. We have mostly just the rescue dogs up there to make room for dogs down at the facility. So we're now full most of the weekends all summer long. Our daycare we cannot grow anymore because I only built it in with one room. So large dogs will go in the one room, small dogs will go with the small dogs. And we ran out of space. So now we're in the works of building another building. So we're in a talking process right now. I talked with the banker. I went to Des Moines and toured another facility. Sarah and I did. So we're going to bring some ideas back with us. I won't divulge anything because we don't know. Yeah, so I don't want to.
Yeah, nothing's in stone yet. You're still in the exploratory stage.
Very much so. Yeah. And I've talked with 2 different commercial contractors. So I'm going to get, well, first of all, bids, but a design crew. We got to kind of design this and what we want. And the need is we want to take that one daycare room and probably make 3 to 4 in the new building so we can grow daycare. And then that daycare room in the original building would be converted into boarding kennels. So our boarding numbers can go up as well. So this new build out would be a dual purpose as well. So
with this type of thing, are you able to, in the design process, take advantage of what you have learned over the past 2 years and some change with where you're at right now, so you know that, okay, we had to fix this before, so we can just come out of the gate this way now? Yeah,
there's going to be a lot more thought is going to go into some different things. Now, I'm the one that built my facility, and so, I use a lot of like Menards materials. Great materials, not dogging them, but it's just kind of all I know. But a commercial contractor that maybe has built kennels and daycares, now they have access to many, many other build products, especially like gates and kennels, so they can kind of contain that bark a little bit. That's going to be key on the next build out, is going to be acoustics and sound. I mean, we got the safety down. We can separate them all we want, but it's the sound right now. We really got to kind of control that and contain it so that we can tolerate it.
Let me ask you something about that. And as far as the tolerating part of it, now, obviously, for us as humans, the noise level
Yeah.
of a lot of, it can start to get uncomfortable to our ears.
Mm-hmm.
What about for the dogs?
Yeah, and they hear like way better than us.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can. I mean, so we want to make a comfortable environment for them too. I hate when I go into a boarding room that's real loud and barky, and I'm walking by the kennels and I've seen a few of the dogs just laying there, just being quiet. I'm just like, man, how are you guys doing? But everybody seems relaxed, but it's like the sound is going to be taken into account more. In fact, I'm probably going to at some point change the acoustics in the building that I already have. There's companies out there that can do that. I just need to find them. And so I want to better what we already have too.
Yeah, I know you and I had talked about that, I think, fairly early on.
Oh, yeah.
When you had opened about
in our relationship.
Yeah.
That's been what, 2 years?
Yeah, and the acoustics part of it. And I know that you had made some improvements in there, but you're right. You get one of those companies that this is all that they do. They are experts.
Yeah.
And knowing which sound waves are going to bounce off of which, types of walls and ways to be able to bring all of that down. I think you're going to find just an extreme change in the comfort level.
Gosh, I hope so. Because there's just got to be some change, to make it comfortable for everybody. I mean, the dogs, obviously. Staff, though, so that they can do a better job when they're in the room, so they're not so much in a hurry to try to get out of the room, And I designed that building, yes, to contain the sound into a room, but I designed it so that the staff member works in a room, not with 100 dogs. We may have 100 dogs in the building, but they're only going to be able to work with like 30. 30
Right.
is in that room. So, you're dealing with, say, 30 barks. They do all the feeding and watering, but then they can leave that room and do other parts of their job, like the laundry and the folding. They go to lunch break. They're going to be in a totally different part, so they're getting out of that room. So I thought the design, I thought that I did a good job. There's just some errors, like you said, that I think that I would improve on in the new building.
Finding the right care for a loved one can feel overwhelming. Assisted Living Locators is here to help. Jean Bonker brings more than 30 years of experience serving families and has personally navigated the challenges of elder care. She understands the questions, the emotions, and the weight of these decisions. Jean becomes your advocate, guiding you through options with clarity, compassion, and personal support every step of the way. Call Assisted Living Locators at 402-690-5467 and move forward with confidence. Across rural Pottawattamie County, strong communities grow from strong local relationships. Avela Bank is here for the families, farms, and small businesses that keep Southwest Iowa moving. From personal and business banking to agricultural loans for land, equipment, livestock, and operating needs, Avela offers solutions backed by local service. Connect with the Avela Bank team in Council Bluffs or visit avela.bank. Avela Bank, local people serving local needs. Member FDIC. How's everything going with your staff? I mean, are you like fully staffed now and things clipping along? I mean,
Yeah, we're good. I could use maybe one or two good staff, and the reason I say that is we just lost one of our college gals Saturday. She has to go back. Shannon, I'm gonna miss you. So she's going back to Kansas University there, and then the high school kids go back into school, so they may drop to part-time. They don't just quit, but that's a lot. So we're gonna need to kind of fill those shoes a little bit with more full-time. But the staff we have, I feel, has gotten better. We have a good staff and a good energy through there.
Well, let's see whether or not we can't get some applications coming in here for you.
That would be great.
So what, when it comes down to who would be a good fit working at SB Country Kennel, what are some of the qualities that you're looking for?
Positive outlook. Obviously, you want to be a self-starter. I've used that word a little bit in words. Someone who can have some cognitive thinking skills, can think on their own. That right there would just help a lot. Just someone who can see a problem and just know the steps to fix it themselves. But so many people think that, hey, I love dogs, I want to come work with dogs, and then they get there and they're just completely overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's like that. It's not overwhelmed because of the barking. No, it's because we're dealing with, basically apex predators. They're domesticated apex predator. You can't just throw all the dogs in the yard. One staff member could see one dog squabble and it can scare them for life. So there is a risk to the job, and to deal with high stress or high pressure conditions and still perform.
And also, I mean, you were really good at integrating dogs in together. I know we've talked
Yeah.
about that before, that you can create an atmosphere to where dogs that the average person like myself wouldn't think should be in the same room, they're getting along just fine. But
We pride ourselves on that sometimes.
it has to do with how, correct me if I'm wrong, but how they're introduced to each other.
That's part of it, yes.
And how, just kind of how the guidelines are set right from the beginning.
Yeah, and I would say the guidelines would be set by the human, needs to be the pack leader. That's really hard to train a staff to be like the alpha or the pack leader. We train them how to do the job, and then they're just going to have to learn. They're not going to be putting dogs together like I do. They're not going to be coming out week one putting dogs together. That's not the way it works. You get a comfort level. You're going to be starting with the super easy dogs that would never fight, and then there's going to be some harder ones mixed in, or maybe we go to the park, or maybe Sarah comes and brings in a dog, or maybe other staff members, so you have more people, so your safety is there. Or I bring them in too. So,
and I follow you on social media, and I see the videos that you put out that are taken out in the yard, whether it's in the play area or in the dog park or wherever it might be. And I'm looking, and I'm like, there's a lot of dogs out here.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a similarity that I'm seeing through all of them. They're playing, they're jumping, they're having fun with each other. I tend to put human emotions onto animals, so it looks to me like they're smiling. But
a lot of people say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with it. I think they are smiling, and so that's what's been brought to my question to me is, how do you get so many different dogs in a yard without fighting? And my answer is, there's a science to it. There's the hows and the whys and the do's and the don'ts. So I had to learn that over time. I've been in the business for 10 years. I've been down to Texas and trained with Jason Vasconi and Heather Beck. I've been down there twice, so learning by other professionals in the industry that I follow and respect. But socializing dogs you have to learn dog behavior. And that's the bottom line. You just have to think like them a little bit. See a problem before it would arise.
I'm guessing, though, that that's something that if you're just teaching it, it probably takes a lot longer.
Yeah, I don't even know how you teach it.
You just have to, you learn it being in the environment.
Right. It's just like, hey, can you teach energy? I feel an energy shift. I can feel an energy shift with a human as well, but I watch the dogs and I can see kind of if they're having fun, if they're stressed, if they're flirty, whatever the case may be. But you watch it. You can watch the tail, you can watch their forehead, but you just watch their body language. They tell you what they're thinking. It's just you got to be able to read it. So when I started my business 10 years ago, it was at my house and I was in the backyard and I'd be putting these dogs. And trust me, I made plenty of mistakes. I'm not going to go through this like I did. I made every mistake. So, and I'll go back to this, but when I went to Texas and trained with Jason Vasconi and they put the rules up on the board, like all of this, I'm like, yeah, I know why you did that. I know why you do that, because I already screwed everything up. All of that I've done, the opposite. So I've had dog squabbles and I'd break it up, but you have to watch the dogs. And that's what I did for just years and years. When I put them in my yard and I'm just watching them, it was like watching a National Geographic for me. It's really fun to watch them when they're playing and they're having, super fun and they're rolling around, but you have to see what they're not going to tolerate from the other dog, and then how that dog's going to react to that dog and how that dog reacts from corrections. Also, breed plays a part in it. A huge part is how they react to corrections and then what their correction back is going to be. Obviously it's going to be different from a golden retriever to a German shepherd, or, an Akita to a pit bull, things like this. It's all different. So you got to know your breed, and then you got to know your dogs. And that takes time.
You're talking about the reaction and seeing behavior. Does any of that change with the extremes that we've seen with the weather? I mean, we've had some really hot days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how from the dog aspect of it, I mean, what types of changes in behavior can a person see, whether it's their pet or maybe at your facility, that this heat has something to do with it?
Man, I just had a discussion about this yesterday. I have dogs at the kennel at my property right now. Most of the rescue dogs are on my property. And then, so I had to check in with the kennel, like, are you guys experiencing what I'm experiencing? Like, because the amount of food that's not consumed, and so they're not eating maybe half as much, but then it's also they're drinking a lot more, which when you drink more and eat less, it transfers out to the yard and what they're doing as far as going potty. I'll keep this real G-rated. So you're going to notice it on the other end as well. Like, it's much softer and gross, but yeah, it's all the way through. And then a lot of times dogs don't want to even go out that door. If you've had them outside a few times, which, we rotate, we put dogs out about every 2 hours, and pretty soon you might open that kennel gate and that dog just looks at you like, I'm
good. Yeah, we're just going to stay.
Come on, let's go. And you almost force them outside. And it's like, man, I just need to let them cool off and let them just do what they want to do. Listen to the dogs. The dogs are telling you, man, I don't want to go out there. It's too hot. And I don't want to eat. The food's there and I don't care to eat it. It just, this heat that we were having changed everything about the dogs. How they play, how they react in the yard. Man, it's almost like they were sick. That's a good way of looking at it. It's like they were sick. They just want to lay down. There's no playing. There's no movement. They didn't want to go outside.
On Pottawattamie County Roots, we explore the places that make our region home and the people who keep them connected. That is why we are proud to feature Marnie Elkhorn Communications, your local communications provider serving Marnie, Elkhorn, Walnut, Avoca, and other southwest Iowa towns with high-speed fiber internet, reliable phone service, and TV options built for rural living. With real local support and unlimited data plans, you get speeds up to 1 gig to work, stream, and stay in touch with family and neighbors. Visit metc.net to learn more and get connected today. Are you looking to grow your business or bring new jobs and investments to Southwest Iowa? Advance Southwest Iowa Corporation is the economic development organization for all of Pottawattamie County. Advance connects entrepreneurs, innovators, and established companies with resources, incentives, and strategic support to launch, expand, and thrive right here in our region. From site development to small business programs and community partnerships, Advance Southwest Iowa helps build a stronger local economy. Visit advancesouthwestiowa.com to learn more and get involved.
Well, you are the expert on dogs. I've always heard that, to dissipate heat, they have to pant, drink water. They don't sweat.
Right.
You never pet a sweaty dog because they don't have that ability. So how do they cool off?
Yeah.
And you can only get so much of that heat out. If it's too much, then they just have to stop.
Yeah, and they're gonna be in their rooms panting a lot, and you got to give them that time to cool down.
Yeah,
and always fresh water. It's because large dogs. I'll say this too. So Mastiffs, Pyrenees, they drink and then they also leave backwash.
Right.
So if it's a big bowl, and it's been in there for say half a day, you dump it. It's almost like a gelatin. It's like the backwash.
That's actually a really good tip. And this is for people that, you have a dog at home and they need that water changed probably more often.
It looks clear. It looks like you got, instead of a full pail, like you got a half a pail. But you go dump that down the drain and you can see it's not liquid. It's more like a gelatin. And so then you rinse your bowl out and give them a fresh bowl.
Well,
so that we do that a lot on our large breeds.
Well, appreciate the great tips that we get from you, whether it be a dog in your facility or somebody that just has one at home. Some of the different things that they need to look out for. I mean, these are important things. What's the process if somebody wants to learn more about whether boarding their dog or just a daycare situation? What's the best way to get that process started?
Now we've actually put it onto our website. So you can go there and you can look around on some things there, but there is Q&As on there that you can even ask. We have some AI, but there's a book a tour. So you can book a tour and choose your own time, and then we get notifications. And if you wanted to come down to the kennel and do a tour, you could. You can come down to the kennel and do a Q&A down there with one of us, staff members or whoever, and see the facility. So you should be able to get all your questions answered through that whole process.
Before we let you go, and this is just for me personally, you went through a period. I remember back before you had hired a manager. I've known you going back that far.
Yeah,
and
a couple of years.
Right, and then you went and you found Sarah.
Yeah,
and I know just how much you appreciate the skill that she has and be able to do that. From a business owner standpoint, and this is just me, as I said, asking, were you able to recognize all of those qualities in the interview process, or has she just continued to impress you going through and said, oh, man, this, because sometimes for me, it feels like, okay, I just got lucky.
I it is. I got lucky.
Yeah.
I got lucky. It was like God's way of connecting us. We had a dog jump the fence. And that dog stayed around, but she was the one that was going to help me trap it. 5 days later, we ended up trapping that dog, and we took our picture together with the dog that we trapped. That's how I found Sarah. And then so I had chatted with her, but we didn't have a deep conversation. And, she was kind of between jobs, but, she was a huge dog lover. She's like the female version of me. And what I mean is, it's not just the love of dogs. It's thinking like a dog, thinking outside the box, you don't have this like natural fear.
Yeah.
There's some level of fear, but for the most part, there's not a dog that, I wouldn't open the gate and like say, hey, come on, we're going to do it. I had to, or go in and slip lead a dog and pull them out of the kennel. Things like most new people aren't going to do that, but Sarah, she does it just like me. And I'm like, what? Like, where did she come from? She surprises me almost daily. I've learned over the course of a year and a half now, or however long it's been, not quite a year and a half. She's a huge asset.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Well, it's every time that
We've had her on the show.
Yeah, she's been on. She doesn't like it, but we'll get her back on again.
Do it again.
Yeah, we'll get her back on again.
No, in fact, why don't we just have Sarah do it? I won't even be in the room. I won't even be a part of it.
We can make that happen. We can do that. Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Did you hear that, Sarah? Yeah, I know it'll be fine. Trust me. All right.
Yeah.
Joe Huntoon, SB Country Kennel. By the way, that website that Joe was talking about is sbcountrykennel.com, and that is country spelled with a K, and that'll get you on there. Take a look around. Follow them on social media, because even if you don't have a dog, it's entertaining. To see the stuff that you guys put out. So I would encourage you to do that. And also, I would encourage you to hit the like button, share, follow, even subscribe. Any of those things that you do help the algorithm, gets this information that Joe was just talking about out even further into the area, and more people know about some of these tips about taking care of your dog in the heat, or maybe you're looking for a place to be able to board your dog for a while, and Joe can be able to help you out with that. All right.
Two pages on social media, by the way, 2 pages. So there's S&B Country Kennel, and then there's Dog Parents of S&B Country Kennel.
Okay.
So quality over quantity on one, and then just a bunch of videos about it.
There you go. 2 different places to follow them. Yeah. All right. This is Pottawattamie County Roots, presented by Hoy Kowalski Funeral Home. I am Todd Studer, and we'll see you next time.